Imagine waking up early in the morning. The sun hasn't fully risen yet, the air is calm, and the world feels quiet. Even before anything obvious happens, there's a subtle feeling in the atmosphere, a sense of calm, peace, or sometimes tension. Most people have experienced walking into a room and immediately sensing the mood without anyone saying a word. Metaphysics explores why experiences like that might happen. What is metaphysics? Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that studies the nature of reality beyond what we can physically see or measure. While physics studies matter, motion, and forces, metaphysics asks deeper questions. What is the true nature of existence? Is reality only physical, or is there something more? How do consciousness, thoughts, and the universe connect? The word itself comes from Greek, meta, meaning beyond, and physics meaning nature. So metaphysics literally means beyond the physical world. It doesn't reject science. Instead, it asks bigger questions about why things exist and how the unseen aspects of reality might influence the physical world. Three important ideas often discussed in metaphysical traditions are energy, frequency, and vibration. The idea of energy. In science, energy is the ability to do work or cause change. Everything in the universe contains energy. Stars, plants, animals, and even our own bodies. Your body is constantly producing energy through processes like metabolism. Your brain alone runs on electrical signals, sending billions of messages through neurons every second. But many philosophical and spiritual traditions also talk about energy in a broader sense as the life force that flows through all living things. You can see evidence of this in everyday life. When someone is excited, their energy feels lively. When someone is angry, the atmosphere feels tense. When someone is calm, the environment feels peaceful. Even though these experiences are emotional and psychological, they affect how people interact, think, and behave. What is vibration? At the most basic level, everything in the universe vibrates. Atoms, the tiny particles that make up matter, are never completely still. They are constantly moving and vibrating. This means that everything around us, from rocks to trees to our bodies, is made of particles that are in motion. Vibration simply means movement or oscillation. Think about a guitar string vibrating when plucked, a drum vibrating when struck, a speaker vibrating to produce sound. These vibrations travel through space and become things we can hear, see, or feel. Even light is a form of vibrating electromagnetic energy moving through space. Understanding frequency. If vibration is movement, frequency is how fast something vibrates. Frequency measures the number of vibrations that occur within a certain amount of time. For example, low frequencies produce deep sounds like drums or thunder. High frequencies produce sharp sounds like whistles or birds chirping. The same principle applies across the universe. Different frequencies produce different forms of energy. For instance, radio waves, microwaves, visible light, X-rays. These are all forms of electromagnetic energy vibrating at different frequencies. So in simple terms, energy is the power or force. Vibration is the movement. Frequency is the speed of that movement. How these ideas relate to humans. Humans are not separate from the universe. Our bodies, thoughts, and emotions are all part of the same energetic system. Your brain produces measurable electrical waves called brainwaves. Scientists have discovered several types. Beta waves when we are alert and thinking. Alpha waves during relaxation. Theta waves during deep meditation or creativity. Delta waves during deep sleep. Each of these represents a different frequency pattern of brain activity. Your heart also generates an electrical field, which can actually be measured with medical instruments. In other words, your body is constantly producing energy and frequencies. Emotions and personal energy. Think about the difference between two situations. In the first situation, you are surrounded by supportive people, listening to music you enjoy, and doing something meaningful. In the second situation, you are stressed, rushed, and dealing with conflict. Even though both situations may involve the same physical environment, the experience feels completely different. This is where people often talk about raising or lowering energy. Positive emotions such as joy, gratitude, and love tend to make people feel lighter, more motivated, and more creative. Negative emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety often make people feel tense, heavy, or drained. While these descriptions are partly psychological, they also reflect real biological changes in the body, such as hormone levels and brain activity. Everyday examples of energy and vibration. These ideas show up in ordinary daily life. Music. Music is a perfect example of vibration and frequency. Different rhythms and tones can influence mood dramatically. Fast beats can energize us, while slow melodies can relax us. Human interaction. Have you ever met someone who immediately made you feel comfortable, or someone whose presence made you uneasy? Part of this comes from body language, tone of voice, and emotional signals that our brains pick up automatically. Environment. Certain places feel calming like beaches, forests, or quiet parks, while crowded or chaotic environments can feel overwhelming. Our brains and bodies respond to the patterns and stimuli around us. Awareness and balance. Metaphysical teachings often emphasize awareness of one's own energy and environment. While the language used may be philosophical or spiritual, the core idea is simple. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions influence both our internal state and our surroundings. Practices such as meditation, deep breathing, exercise, spending time in nature, listening to music can help regulate stress and improve emotional balance. These activities change brain activity, heart rate, and hormone levels, which in turn influence how we feel and interact with the world. The big picture. Metaphysics encourages people to think about reality in a broader way. Instead of viewing humans as separate from the universe, it suggests that we are deeply connected to the patterns and forces around us. Energy, vibration, and frequency are ways of describing how motion and interaction occur throughout the universe, from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. In everyday life, these ideas remind us that our thoughts, emotions, and actions matter. They influence how we experience the world and how others experience us. Understanding these patterns can encourage greater awareness, empathy, and balance in our lives. Metaphysics invites us to look beyond what we can immediately see and consider the deeper nature of existence. Energy is the force that powers change. Vibration is the movement within all matter. Frequency is the speed of that movement. Together, these concepts help describe the dynamic nature of the universe. Whether viewed through science, philosophy, or personal experience, they remind us of something important. We are not isolated beings, but active participants in the vast, moving system of life. Becoming aware of your energy isn't mystical or complicated. It's really about learning to notice what's happening inside you and around you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Think of it like tuning a radio. The signal is already there, you're just learning how to listen more carefully. Here are some practical ways people begin developing that awareness. 1. Start with your body. Your body is the easiest place to notice energy because it constantly sends signals. Try a simple check-in during the day. Are your shoulders tense or relaxed? Is your breathing slow or fast? Do you feel heavy, tired, calm, or alert? These sensations are your body's way of telling you how your internal energy is shifting. For example, stress often shows up as tight muscles or shallow breathing. Calmness usually feels like relaxed muscles and steady breathing. Just noticing these signals is the first step. 2. Pay attention to emotional changes. Emotions are closely tied to your energetic state. Throughout the day, ask yourself simple questions like, What am I feeling right now? What triggered this feeling? Did something or someone change my mood? Over time, you'll start to notice patterns. Certain situations lift your energy while others drain it. This awareness helps you understand how your environment affects you. 3. Notice the atmosphere around people. Most people have experienced this without thinking about it. Sometimes you walk into a room and immediately feel relaxed, uncomfortable, excited, tense. Often this comes from subtle cues, tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, or emotional signals from others. Try observing these moments instead of ignoring them. Ask yourself what you're sensing and why. 4. Practice quiet moments. Our minds are usually very busy. Quiet time helps you notice subtler sensations. Simple activities can help. Sitting quietly for a few minutes. Slow breathing. Meditation. Walking in nature without distractions. When the mind slows down, it becomes easier to notice changes in mood, tension, and energy levels. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. 5. Observe what raises or lowers your energy. Start tracking the activities that affect how you feel. For example, things that might increase energy: exercise, good conversations, creative work, music, time in nature. Things that might drain energy: lack of sleep, conflict, constant noise, too much screen time, stressful environments. Once you recognize these patterns, you can consciously adjust your habits. 6. Listen to your intuition. Intuition is the subtle sense that tells you when something feels right or wrong. It often appears as a gut feeling, sudden clarity, a sense of ease or tension about a decision. Developing energy awareness helps people recognize these signals more clearly. 7. Slow down your reactions. One powerful way to understand your energy is to pause before reacting. When something upsets you, take a breath and notice what you're feeling, where you feel it in your body, what thoughts are appearing. This small pause creates awareness instead of automatic reaction. The key idea: energy awareness isn't about special powers. It's about paying closer attention to your inner experience and your environment. The more you observe your body, your emotions, your surroundings, the more clearly you begin to understand the subtle shifts that influence how you think, feel, and act. With practice, many people find that this awareness helps them make better decisions, manage stress more effectively, and live with greater balance. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you are notified whenever we upload a new video, and watch out for Meta Queen's guided meditation videos to help you achieve a calm and balanced energy. Thank you for watching.